Welcome back, everyone. Last week, we went through some of my ideas for things I'd like to see in Season 5. You all had a lot of really creative and original ideas here, and Embark should definitely use the community feedback we've gathered. So I thought it'd be cool to put all of these together, and today, we're going through the comments, looking at features you would add in Season 5. You can also check out my previous video for context here. Let's jump in. Vanguard 14 says, we just need an MVP feature at the end of the match and it shows the best play of that game. Max von Witzleben says, and MVP animations like we had in the best game of all times back in the good days of Knockout City. Tony Tark X says, always loved how they did that in Overwatch. I don't know about Overwatch 2, that game doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. And it's a good point here, Overwatch has a great play of the game system. Half-Wolves 2 says, as a consequence of this as well, maybe people will consider breaking the meta when the MVP clip at the end of their match is me wiping their whole team with a cheese slicer. I went on to say, also everybody would go for trick shots on the final kill if it's always showcased. Half-Wolves 2 replied, I'm always for breaking the meta, not to mention people will realize how lame it is when lights always run the SMGs and mediums run ARs when they have so many other cool options, and every single MVP clip is just them holding mouse 1 and aiming at people, lol. Joma5154 also agrees, says never thought about it, but that's actually a must for real. Now on the topic of maps, Irwatizmet says a space map will be amazing. InsanityX says bring space maps and take my wallet. The Quan Parrot says, me and my friends have been talking about a moon-based map since Season 2. I would love that so much. Running Miles says, I have a feeling that the next map will be a big-ass castle with a moat. And I heard something about that too. I think there were a lot of rumors about it in Season 4 as well. Also, Colosseum was one of the options at that time. Lemschem says, hear me out, but I really want to see a massive oil rig map. I feel it would work really well with the water below, and preferably, it will be a map of multiple oil rigs that are connected like in real life. That would definitely fit the current blocking of the maps with 4 areas connected together. If we flood Sys Horizon, we're halfway there. Definitely a cool idea. Now let's move on to new features you'd like to see added. Arcanum says, the big cash spending idea is gold. People have been saying for a long time this game needs to lean more into the game show feel. That includes huge exclusive or open tournaments with insane in-game rewards or even real-world cash. Now real cash prizes would be too good, people would cheat to get them. Me, I take some free merch every year, like 50 million for year 1 bundle, with a custom limited edition t-shirt, pins and whatnot, on top of the in-game event. Mandead says, here's a feature I want, multiplayer firing range. Apex Legends does this really well. A nice big range with a 1v1 arena, so stacks will have something to do while waiting for their third. If I have to queue to get into the training area, at least let me queue up with my friends. Abdul Hasib says, I love the 5v5v5 idea. This game shines with more players in Destruction. Let's see what Season 5 brings for us. HM says, map voting system. This will make it easier for people to vote for a new map, etc. Solos, duos, and squads option for cash out. Easier said than done, I know. But more options to play will make a huge difference. Very hard to play trios with strangers. A show director, like Darwin Project. This could be very cool. Someone who is in control of the in-game events that can shake up the game. More game events are needed, not just destruction ones, but ones that can help the losing teams based on cash, etc. Something for winning the finals, like a token system that you can spend in a winner's shop. Only similar to the prestige shop in COD, like Fortnite, they could also do cash cups, etc. for players, not just streamers, or if not cash, you can earn cosmetics for winning and be the only one that has those cosmetics. Also on map voting, Quantum Witcher says, I do not like the map voting systems at all. Just means the same maps will be infinitely chosen. HM replies back, not if you implement a system where you can't pick the same map continuously, and it's more of voting for the order. There's a few games that have done this, but the more apps added in the future, it'll help, and it'll help to be able to play a new map quicker. Myself, I'd see this in a mosh pit mode, where we get random maps and game modes. I'd definitely vote there. Arcanum also says, vehicles would work wonderfully with the much demanded Capture the Flag game mode they could add. If they emulated the feeling of Halo 3 Capture the Flag, it'd be huge, an even better power shift. Mental Glitch says, I really enjoyed this video. Thanks. My favorite ideas are new body types and faces, play of the game, improved backgrounds and menus, song selection and options to include songs from previous seasons, and more integration of the sponsors, especially Halto. Brasgo says, the idea of spending some overall cash made on something like a gold weapon skin or reskilled gold version cosmetics is a really cool idea. A different way of showing game prestige other than rank in World Tour or Ranked. AK3971 says, what if they improved some of the in-match events and made it so sometimes multiple trigger at once, like low grav with a bunch of meteors? That might be fun, but definitely super chaotic. Eric Burgos says, a social area with minigames so we can find people to squad up with. Stinky Mix says, please, I just want to be able to spectate a game while sitting in the stadium. Regular Phil says, all I want is a sandbox mode, like Forge and Halo. That'd be sick. I still think if we get some sort of map builder, the community can go crazy with this. Darshan says, I have another idea that can be in the shop. A Molotov skin for the incendiary grenade like in Counter-Strike 2. That's a fair point. I'm surprised we don't have a Molotov skin yet. Azen says, think inspecting somebody's profile would be a good thing. Dunil says, I love how no matter the platform, everyone seems to shit on Kyoto. Either for performance or the layout, usually both. Fishcake VR says they need to make it so that you can do 1v1v1 in private matches. And this is a fair point. Embark definitely needs to work more on custom games so that you can select a team, select weapons for everybody, have more options in general there. Crisis Advantage says, give Heavy some form of movement. God, please. I hate being forced into running, charge, and slam. My body yearns for winch hook, but charge and slam is too effing good. Chlorine Raven says, my only wish is being able to bypass battle passes. That would be truly next level. I don't think anybody does this at the moment. Mutfalishi says, commenting in the off chance that the video helps reach Embark. Kizig also says, separate intro emote, player card emote, and win outro emote, and sponsor competitors, or I don't know, because the competitions between them seem pointless. Assurance versus Communication Company. That'd be funny though if Halto had door-to-door sponsor missions where you sell insurance. Dershan says, what about a free week when all shop items can be purchased with VRs instead of multi-bucks? After 3 weeks, you can get free items for 1 week straight. It's good because we always have like 5,000 VRs left and nothing to do with it, and it's good for free-to-play players like me. Hope it comes one day, it'd be really nice for this type of game. Mihai says, I would also love to see these things in Season 5, especially because I didn't enjoy the third one and 4 didn't bring that much to the table. Maybe the Embark Lords will listen and give us what we deserve. I think Kyoto coupled with Terminal Attack was a pretty rough season overall. 4 is a step back to normality game-wise, and I really like everything they've done with sponsors and challenges. But yeah, we'll have to see how Season 5 goes. Jay Sniffles says, I want better gunplay, faster TTK like in early Season 2. B-Lock says, we only need one thing to make an update feel like an actual new season, which is removing melee weapons and have them instead as a secondary melee weapon with your main primary gun. Now, that's a pretty interesting idea, maybe an LTM, but at the same time, imagine running from model Riot Shield. Nightmare fuel. Now let's talk about future game modes. The King's Son says, the gameplay in the finals is what makes it the best shooter. It's just satisfying. Bigger map and more players would be nice, more gun variety, and that's all it needs. HM says, I hope they don't do TDM. They've created a new innovative mode with cash out. Hope they stick to new modes. The same people who complain about modes like a Battle Royale are the same people who play TDM and then wonder why they're getting the same games every year, nothing new. They need to add their own spin instead of the old boring game modes from the 90s. Personally, I'm pro non-objective game modes for a bit of variety, and so stallers can go someplace. Quick Cash is full of them now. HM says, it doesn't have to be TDM or Capture the Flag. We've seen those modes again and again. Let Embark make new non-objective modes instead of the old boring ones, or at least their own spin on things. It's a game show. The possibilities should be endless. I fully agree with this. They need to find their own versions for non-objective game modes. Sparky de Sade says, so I came up with a great idea for a gun game style LTM I would love to see. Think almost like a different take on Steal the Spotlight. However, this is 6 teams of 2 lights, and everybody's loadout starts with grapple and dagger. The goal though is, instead of cash vaults spawning, the vaults are weapons from the other classes. When you pick them up, you equip that weapon and drop it when killed. The goal of the mode is to collect a certain amount of each type of weapon and turn them into the cash out stations. First team to finish their shopping list wins. Now this is an original idea. I could definitely see this as part of a sponsor event, where you need to retrieve sponsor items that have been misplaced, or a sponsor bonus and an item reward. They could showcase new cosmetics in this game mode and have a lot of banners advertising future cosmetics. Alec Lucky says, right now the game modes are good. No need to make this a TDM game. Also, vehicles in the map are not needed, it'd be distracting. Everything else you mentioned would be great. Maybe I went a bit too far with some ideas, but I strongly believe Embark should keep experimenting, and the finals can definitely get a little wackier, if only on some limited time game modes. Orange Jet Exhaust says, really nice vid. Thanks. I like the ideas you mentioned, especially the space maps and something similar to Doom Quake Days. That'd be super. And also a firing range that I can load there with a friend to warm up and just shoot things at each other. Cigarron Aurelia says, imagine some events locked by classes. Light event, like a parkour course where whoever finishes first wins. Heavy event, some kind of destruction event where you get points for destroying or exploding everything. And I really like this idea. They should definitely be tied into sponsor. Halter for destruction, Isolt for style, Engimo for speed maybe? Sort of like a sponsor bonus for 1 minute where you get bonus points for actions. Oliver Lutz says, more game modes. Capture the flag, deathmatch, free-for-all, kill cam feature, play of the game feature. Superman says, all great ideas. I always felt like they could lean into the game show aspect a lot more. Having some fun casual modes like say an obstacle course where just try to finish first, could turn off guns but maybe keep some gadgets. An infected mode would be cool, could force infect to be lights with swords or daggers. Or what about that floor is lava mode they were talking about? Could make it interesting and have all buildings start collapsing one by one until there's nothing left. If they can make stuff like that work without issues, it'd be great for variety. I was thinking more about that aspect as well, maybe turning bullets into lasers or nerf darts or pillows, like a sudden pillow fight where everybody has to use melee. Floor is lava would be really cool. AK says, a cool idea for the best kill cam would be to reward more fans if you get it. Zipper Skull says, I would love a CP mode similar to Battlefield 12v12. Huge map, more fun. Hate the Cloud says, these are some fantastic ideas, especially like your ideas of new maps and events. Thanks. Sionami says, I have an idea for a game mode called Survival of the Fittest. Solo, no team, lobby of 15 players. Killing and respawning, and every 30 seconds a player with the least kills is eliminated. That sounds cool, kinda like a knockout mode. The Quan Parrot says, what they really need to do is to allow us to save the skins that we create, and maybe even let us have name our skins. I could definitely see them adding another section with custom outfits, where you can save any cosmetic combination under a custom name. Park says, I would love a solo game mode for sweating, something like every kill you switch from light to medium or heavy, with a random loadout or something like Gun Game, but with characters. They could have randomized presets and you need to make your way through a number of them throughout the match. Mr. Morgan says, I think they need at least 5 new game modes that are similar to classic game modes. Capture the flag, Gun Game especially would go crazy. They could add them to quick play and allow for multi-queue and quick play to get fast matches for any cool game mode of choice. Did this guy really say we're in chapter 1? An arcade mosh pit playlist with Gun Game and other crazy modes would be sick. Yes, I said chapter 1. Deal with it. McShev says 4v4 would be nice. And I agree, quads would be cool too. Embark needs to experiment with balance on different game modes as well, now that we have 3v3 and 5v5. I just hope they're not afraid to keep experimenting after Terminal Fiasco. Alan Vladarsky says, hot take, remove swords and knives. Personally, I'd definitely like to see bullets only or an emphasis on gunplay in a certain mode, either Gun Game or Gunfight. Having somebody running at me with a pirate outfit and a cutlass the entire game while I'm running R357 is nightmare fuel. Shoya Dori says, no new game modes needed. That's why I'm playing the finals, because it's new, it's refreshing, and not the 26 millionth Call of Duty. Fuck TDM, wanna go only for kills? Play the Bankit game mode. For the game to grow though, I think they need to implement more game modes for more variety and find their own style for each game mode. Terminal Attack is not original from the finals, it's their take on S&D. Shuadori goes on to say, and as you know, it failed miserably. Many people before me said it too, that it is simply not the finals. People play this game for what it is and don't want to play it for what it isn't. That's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you want added in the final Season 5? All of your comments will go in the next community video. I want to keep this series going to help us workshop ideas and have a conversation about what the finals should and shouldn't be. And hopefully Embark will take heed and listen to some of these ideas. As always, join the Discord, like and subscribe, stay fresh cheese bags,